Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our call. Sunita, I agree. Today will be an amazing day, only always. Yes, welcome everybody to our call. For those of you that experienced your first call yesterday, actually, for all of you, what did you notice that was different about your day yesterday from starting your day with this call? What did you notice that was different about your day yesterday? Kath said I had more energy all day. JT says I felt calmer. Vicky says felt lighter. Yeah, and Vicky, I also remember you saying in the chat that it was like something awakened within you, remembering who you are, a connection again. Speaking of the WhatsApp chat, please join it if you're not in it already. It's for while we're together on these calls. It's an opportunity to keep the energy going and also ask questions if you have shares. It's beautiful. iPhone 6, if you could rename yourself, that would be so great. But you say you were more productive. Greg, more focus and energy. Marlene focused on her thoughts more. So in the work, and this happens, you become aware. We expand our consciousness, we become more aware, so then we're also aware of thoughts that we've probably always been having, but we haven't been aware that we've been having the thoughts, because the thoughts are simply on autopilot, they are habitual. So even to focus on your thoughts more is fantastic, Marlene. That's great. Daphne says, I felt calm and control and so happy. Heidi Francis, very productive and organized. Jen, clearer about next steps. Pooja, positivity. Oh, so good. Glenna, intentional, calm. Not as worried, Sunita says. And Shanti says, calm and connected. And I know you had a question about what does it mean to be it? I'm going to get to all of it. I promise I will. A couple of announcements, and I will make these announcements also throughout our time today, is there is a VIP call that is available to you that is tomorrow at 12 p.m. The investment for that call will double at 11:59 p.m. today. So by kind of midnight today, that investment doubles, and the call is tomorrow at 12 p.m. And there is a recording. We now officially have 2 spots left for the expansion weekend, where I will take you through a process that I took Inner Circle and other elite clients through, and we did in Whistler. Many of you that were in Whistler are coming back to do it again, and I see some of those names, and I'm like, wow, because I know of what happened in Whistler as you were going through it. So that's incredible. That is only open to former clients or current clients. I must have worked with you. We must have a relationship. I must have worked with you. It's not a one-off that you can just come and do the weekend, because it is very intense, to say the least. And we have 2 spots left for that. And if you have not already booked you're not a client and you haven't already booked your call with Mario, or if you were a former client, because things would have changed, that is part of what we offer here. So please book that call so that you can make the most of what you're learning. Okay, great. So yesterday, what we looked into was this idea of, in our lives, we are really shifting our consciousness to experience aspects of ourselves that we have always had, like Yusuf always had the potential to drive, but he had never experienced it until now. So we've always had this in a universe that has all that we can possibly wish to have, even that which we have not imagined exists right now. So one of the questions that was asked was, what do I mean by be it? What does that mean? Well, being is, you could think of it like, okay, I'm just gathering my thoughts here. Most people, when they think of coming to a call that's called Earn More with Ease, what they are expecting, and I'm sorry if anyone was disappointed, first is, okay, Hina's gonna teach me exactly what she has done, which I am, but what you would be thinking is more strategy. Okay, so you do this, you make X amount of calls a day, you speak to this people, you speak to those people, you create this and that. Action is very important. And action is definitely part of it because remember, that's the experiencing of it. But we want our action to come from who we are being and who we are being consciously, who we are creating ourselves to be. And that's where we have the most power that you can create yourself to be. So when I look at the chat and I look at what you would love to create from a financial perspective, strategy right now is not going to be what will move the needle. That is not what's going to help you. You've got to first attain the consciousness. Now, there's going to be, of course, you're also going to be taking action at the same time, but you've got to have some clarity on who you be. Because the person that is making $100,000 a year has different thoughts, feelings, and actions than the person that's making $100,000 a month. And you may look at their calendar, and what might surprise you is the person that's making 100,000 a month might, at first glance, even seem, I'm doing this in air quotes, less busy. So it's not about necessarily all the things in the calendar. All of your busyness does not make you productive, which I think is really good to know because then we can be like, okay, I don't have to prove myself. There's nothing to prove. So when I'm talking about being it, there is a way of being. And when I talk about the document, this is in my Amplify You program where all of the clients in that program are creating who they are being that is not coming from outside of them. Which means that we're not living a when then life. Well, when this happens, then I'm that. We be it now. And the fact is, many of you are already being. And when you're being, when you are truly being, there's a certain way of showing up. There's a certain integrity in being, and integrity is the condition of being whole and complete. Let me give you an example, because you've really got to get this. I am being married to Paul. I am being Paul's partner. That being, that way of being shows up in who I be during the day that I don't have to think about because I am being it. It is fused, which means that sometimes I wear a wedding ring, my wedding ring, sometimes I don't. Right now it didn't fit. And so I said to Paul, I said, Paul, my wedding ring doesn't fit. And he was like, oh, we can get it resized. And then I said, or I could get a new one for the next 30 years because we We hit 30 years in January. But the wedding ring doesn't make me married. It could be a symbol of it, and it might be a symbol of it in this culture. There's some cultures where they don't wear rings. There's some people who wear rings who are not being in partnership. Who got that? Who's this landing with? And I'm saying this without any judgment. There's no judgment here. I'm just saying that I want you to understand this so that you can understand that when you're being something, you're occupying that state. So Melanie is being, Nisreen, you had mentioned this as well, being a leader. It's not going to be, I'm a leader when I have a team. There's ways of being leader now, leading yourself. Okay, good. So that helped that question. Beautiful. Thank you for asking it. You know, whenever you ask questions, and some I may get to, some I may not at the moment, but it's my intention to get to as many as I can because it actually moves the whole conversation. This conversation is a co-creation. Each one of you are part of creating this. The whole universe is brought into being by the participation or observation of those who participate and observe. Wealth is brought into existence by you and all of us looking at it. Okay? Because wealth is already here. It is already here. And even if we look at money, it is already here. If we think of that aspect of wealth, what I mean by that is that I could go to a store right now, buy a lottery ticket, some numbers are matching, and all of a sudden I have a lot more numbers in my bank account. Well, all of that money was already here. Wealth is brought into existence by you and all of you looking for it. Your certainty of it, your faith in it, and your attention to it creates it. So, for those of you in Amplify You and Elite, because you're doing the same program, and Inner Circle, when I ask you who you be, when we create this document, this is exactly it. Your your attention into how you are showing up, what your thoughts are, what your feelings are, is creating it. Your attention is creating it. In reality, it already exists in one form or another, but you now cause it to be a definite thing, an event in a point in space and time. Can I go deeper with this? First, can I have a sip of my coffee? Okay, Cheryl, I love you. I love this question. I haven't even read it all, but I already love it. I'm going to answer it right now. Cecilia, you're in Germany. Yay! So happy you're here. Cheryl says, so if we've never been the millionaire, and yes, I can imagine it and have faith in it, how do we know how a millionaire thinks? What decisions would they make? Can you please give examples? Cheryl, I want to give you a big hug. That is absolutely, that is the There's no right or wrong, but that's a great question to get you closer. So many times when people are saying that they would want to be a millionaire, let's say they want to be a millionaire, they may ask other people, well, what did you do? But Cheryl is spot on here because the question is not what do you do? It's what do you think? Like, what are the thoughts? Because there are thoughts that you have that are different, and then from that way of being, you're doing things. And this was a question, Cheryl. I had joined a group, and in that group, there were other people that were millionaires. And this was the exact question, Cheryl, that I asked them. And I would even bring to them, I said, what does this situation look like for you? And I'll say this, Cheryl, they were millionaires in the way that it was in a way that I desired to also create. That's right, Nikki. It's be, do, have. So I'll give you one thing right now that is a way that I is one thing I noticed that was very, very obvious across the board in this group is that money is neutral. A million is not big. It simply is. So a million, it's neutral. They're not even, it's not even like it's, oh, $1 million. So if we think of the law of relativity, big or small compared to what? So in the way that they held that in their mind, it was very much doable, it was easy, and it was neutral. It simply was. So I hope that helps. So that would even be the first part. It's just very neutral and it's available to them. It's available. Of course. It can be easy. Does not have to be done with um struggle or burning out. So there was not the belief that in order to have it, I must burn out. I will tell you, Cheryl, there are some circles where that is the belief, and they do have it, and they are burning out. With flow, the supply is infinite. I hope that helps, Cheryl. Oh, yay. Okay, so do you know what? Um, Cheryl, is this the Cheryl that I met on Friday? Yes. Okay, Cheryl, here's the funny thing. So, Cheryl, I said, oh, yay, right? And I was about to just say, I met somebody that had been on these calls before, and she said that when I said she recognized my voice because I say yay. And then I'm saying yay to you. Oh my gosh, I love it. You cannot make this up. I hope your eye is better too. Okay, so that's a shift for you. That helped. Okay, perfect. Now it goes even deeper. So what you desire, so that millionaire Cheryl, seven-figure Cheryl, already exists as an event. It already exists. It already exists. But your perception of time makes it look away and separate. This is why, Cheryl, we want to occupy the state of it. Because when we are not occupying the state, we're seeing it as something outside of us. It is something that is away. It is something that is separate. And then once you understand this, you then bring things into your experience faster and in larger amounts. You're also in Cheryl, in that example about it being neutral, there's no resistance, Cheryl. There's no resistance to having it. There's no resistance to creating 83.33 thousand, whatever it is, a month to create, to generate a million annually. There's no resistance to it. That is another way of thinking. Melanie says, here is something I wrote in my document. I have I have a millionaire self-image. I carry within me the power to create wealth, achieve success, and become the accomplished woman I'm destined to be. I love that. Melanie, for your document, I would simply change this one thing. And uh, I carry within me the power to create wealth, achieve success, and I am an accomplished woman. So destined to be keeps it in the future. You are her now. When Another thing, Cheryl, is there's not a belief in lack or shortages when we think of it from that place. Believing in any sort of shortage makes your consciousness smaller and slower so that you may experience what you believe in. So think about that. Believing in any sort of shortage, it it's constricting. It makes your consciousness smaller and slower so that you can experience what you believe in. So one of the things that I would say to myself is, as I was starting in this work, was, well, if everything I believe is true, what do I want to believe? And the reason in our document we write in the I am is because now is the only time. You see, the reason I asked Melanie to change what she wrote to remove the destined to be is because now is the only time. So I want her to have it now. I am now a millionaire. Now I am. And when you say things like this, whatever it is for you, for some of you, it's, you'd like to generate six figures. You want to earn more, whatever that more is for you that you want to earn with ease that brought you to this study. I'll just use millionaire as an example. So when you say, I am a millionaire now, and then the physical evidence around you does not show that, this does not mean that you are lying to yourself. And the reason is that the moment of now holds all existence in all possibilities all at one time, including you being the millionaire. So this statement is true. and it's our eyes that lie. This is very important to understand because this is where we start to fight with ourselves. We get into a fight with ourselves. I am a millionaire. No, you're not. Look at your bank account. And so when we really understand the laws of the universe, then we understand that we are that. We might not be experiencing it in the physical in a certain way, but we are it. And we have it. The potential is there and it actually exists. It simply exists in a different form. And all possibilities exist when? When do they exist? It exists now. Andrea D'Angelo says, if this helps anyone, when I first wrote down my goal every day in the present tense, I didn't believe it or feel it for 6 months. And Andrea D'Angelo, would you say that everything that you wrote at that time has happened, including seven figures and beyond, including moving to Italy, including creating a business the way that you wanted to create it. There's a list of things that happened that Andrea created. Okay, I think there were some other questions that came in. Oh, Jen, happy anniversary to you and Keith. Yay! 45 years ago, you met. Tracy asks, how to get through the resistance of feeling like you're not being. Oh, isn't that funny that I end up answering the question before I see the question? Okay, so hopefully that answered your question, Tracy. You are like, you're, you actually are right now. It is simply in a different form. Cynthia says, I've always had the idea to shoot for the moon and land amongst the stars. Is that approach something that is counterintuitive for this mindset? Setting your set point much higher than what you actually feel you want or need. It's all what we believe. So if that belief helps you, then it's great. Then use it. As long as it feels fun as well. If there's resistance to shooting for the moon, then that might create a little bit of tension. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It is not contradictory at all because it's whatever you believe. Vicky's asking, where did you start being with money? Did you start with six figures and then once you got there, increase it to seven? Um, Let me think. I did start with six figures, like multiple. Yes, I did. I did start with six figures. Yes. Andrea says, I wrote down that I'm so happy and grateful now that I make $1 million a year per year with ease. I own my own company and have 10 salespeople working for me, all remote. I travel the world with my dog, running my business. I have a villa in Italy. So this is what she wrote in a condo in Toronto. All of this came true. She says this was because of Hina's program 5 years ago. So if you wish faster results, the right way to shorten time is to raise your certainty. Increase the clarity of your imagination. If you perfect awareness, imagination, faith, certainty, and clarity, then you can truly create results instantly. And for many of you, you're just beginning at this. Like for some of you, this is very new. For some of you, this is new at the place that you're at. So you may be surprised to know that for some people that have actually reached their first goals, like Andrea D'Angelo has, there can still be a challenge in the next phase of it, in the next iteration, because it still requires um kind of a death to an old identity. So you're letting go of things that have actually worked for you. But I promise you it will happen. Oh, Deborah Sinclair says another sidebar 38 years ago, this moment she was in labor with her precious son. Ah, time, right? We're talking about these times. Would you say, Deborah, that you're like, gosh, I have a son that is 38, Jen, married 45 years. The time is going to go. It goes so fast. How do I have a child that is in the front seat, the driver's seat of the car, when I just brought him home from the hospital, in the car seat in the back, sitting with him in the back? Because being in the front seat was too far while he was in the back. Don't put off what you desire. Don't live a when then life. Tomorrow's not promised. What we have is now. And that's the beautiful thing about our documents and who we create ourselves to be, is because that's where all the possibility exists, because we can create that now. Get to the top of that mountain now. Right, Deborah? What an experience. And as you start to embody this and be this, and be and allow and not have resistance to having what you want to have. You see, okay, so even if we look at Andrea D'Angelo, when I first started working with her, as she created what she wanted to create, when she says it's thanks to Hannah's program, it's because I gave her a vehicle and a step-by-step process for this to happen, right? So then she could get out of her own way. She could work through the resistance, because you have to understand that she could not be in certain relationships, personally and professionally, and be someone that feels worthy of the things that she's created. So as you do this work, everything that is not in harmony with it is going to show up. And a lot of what's not in harmony with it is in your life, in the moment, that you've got to reconcile, you've got to deal with, you've got to get complete on. Andrea says, yes, because Hannah, you taught me this work. I couldn't have done it without learning the ways you showed me, um, because in my mind that will never go away. Yes. So the we're not taught this. We're taught the things the other way around. We're taught that, oh, to work with the circumstances control everything, the economy, the politics, the weather. That's that, and it's because of that that I don't have this or that. And what that is like is um, being in front of your toaster, putting bread in and pushing it down, the lever down, and nothing happening. It's pretty much just popping back up, or you pop it up and nothing has changed in the form of the bread. The bread is exactly as it is. And why? Because we've not plugged in the toaster. We've not plugged it into source. Now, doesn't it make it a lot easier to have the bread get toasted when you've plugged it into source? You just push it down, it does its thing, you walk away, it pops up. That is what this is like when you are plugged into source. So Andrea D'Angelo connected to source through our work together. And then she was able to make these changes. She had to do work, she had to have some uncomfortable conversations. She changed her whole life. And there were steps. She went to Italy for a few months. Or, it wasn't that she moved to Italy once. There are steps that happened for her to acclimatize to her next level. Okay, Diana, this is the Diana. Remember what, yes, did you enjoy your first class flight? Diana, is there any other way to fly? And to South Africa. Oh my gosh, were you not happy that you were in a pod? Diana, like look at where you are right now, Diana. Look at where you are. Take in where you are right now. You are listening to this call in the safari with the giraffes walking by. Life is so magical. Diana, it is so magical that you can be on this call and be on a safari. Like, that is so magical. I don't even know what time. Oh, it's 6:44. Okay. And Diana, I think about you and your self-image, and I mentioned you yesterday, I believe, that the struggle that you were on like a VIP call, and there was resistance to joining the program because you had done something before and it didn't work out the way that you wanted it to or expected it to. So could you trust again? And I encouraged you not to let your history determine your destiny. And what I love about you, Diana, is that yeah, it wasn't even this was not convenient for you on many levels. It wasn't like you had the money sitting in the bank account and it was like, okay, I'll just spend it on this. This really took a commitment for you to do, for you to join. And I want you to take this in as you're looking at the giraffes in South Africa at a safari that you flew to on first class. You are miracles. You are magic. That is who you be. And what I love is that you decided that, well, when I invest, this is going to work for me. I'm going to let go and forgive anything in the past. You see, so many of us allow our past to determine our future because something didn't work. So we stop trying. And that can be in relationships. And we think we're protecting ourselves. Well, I'm not gonna be vulnerable again. I'm not gonna open up my heart again. No, we want to learn from it and love and be from a different place. Diana says it's so wild, even hearing you say that. So grateful for you. I could not take the first step for Andrea, for Diana, and others. I couldn't do like I'm here every morning. 5 years I've been doing these calls. But it's up to you to take the first step. Victoria says, Victoria, happy belated birthday, by the way. So many birthdays in March. In just a short year, I got my business to six-figure months. Yes, launched my own coaching program and got married, all with the support of Hina and this incredible community. And Victoria, may I say one thing about all of that? All of that I love. And one of my most favorite things is you getting married the way you wanted to get married. That there was, again, because Cheryl, you come to know who you are, right? Shante, who you be. As you come to know you, then you're not, then you're saying, well, what would I love? And Victoria had decided people expected her to do this wedding in a certain way because of who she is and the things that she loves. But when she and her husband got quiet and they said, well, what would we love? What they would love is a wedding in the backyard. It's not what everybody else necessarily wanted for them. It's not what others thought their wedding should be, but it's what they wanted. And so guess what they did? They had a wedding in their backyard with their favorite people. So I say this to you because this is rich. This is the wealth. Takes a consciousness and takes a way of being to allow yourself to have what you want to have and not blame others for the reason that you don't have it. You have to take 100% responsibility for your life, for every part of it, your relationship, your health, your bank account. And from that place, there's possibility because now you, like Yusuf, are in the driver's seat. Tracy says, what if you don't know what it would look like if you don't have a big goal to aspire to yet? That's the work, Tracy. Most people that I work with, many people at the beginning don't know what they would like because we haven't been taught this. We've been taught that to like or to desire or to want more is bad. It's greedy. We should be happy with what we have. So this is a whole new way of, we're rewiring our neural pathways here. And we're creating a whole different way of thinking, of even allowing ourselves. So for Victoria to allow herself to think about, well, what's the wedding that I want, as opposed to just getting swept up in what she thinks she should do, that is a different way of thinking. And that way of thinking first started in her business. Oh, let me give Cheryl, you're going to love this. So when Victoria first hit her first six-figure month, and it was like that she would get an alert on her phone, like cha-ching, 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 the sales were happening. And what we always say, Cheryl, in my community is, as these things happen, this is your now normal. This is your normal. So because this is her normal, she can now turn off those alerts. It's not a big deal because that's her normal. That's just the way it is. It's with certainty and expectancy that, yeah, that's our now. Now that is our minimum. That six figures is a minimum standard. That's a standard that we have. And so, Cheryl, then your standard and your stories and your habits, this is what makes up your self-image. So prior to that, she may have had a five-figure standard or a four-figure standard a month. And now she has a six-figure standard as a minimum. Okay. You see, it's a co-creation, these calls. Is this helping anybody? Is this landing for you? And I want to hear in the WhatsApp chat what your takeaway is from today. So we can put the WhatsApp chat in this chat so you can join it if you haven't. Deborah, your stories, your standards, your habits, this is what makes up your self-image. The stories that we tell ourselves. Oh, Brittany, is Brittany on the call today? Brittany's on the call. Brittany, remember, and Deborah, I don't even know how old you are. I don't even know if I said the right age. Um, but Brittany, remember when you were talking about what you're creating, acting and what you're creating in your business? Well, so you are 73. So get this, Brittany. Guess who at 73 is a model now? Brittany, Deborah Sinclair. Yes, Deborah Sinclair. Deborah Sinclair was asked to model jewelry. And what's so beautiful is that this all happened. This ask came in when we were all in Whistler together at the retreat. Andrea says it was one of my favorite moments with her. Absolutely, Andrea. What a blessing it was for us to be able to be a part of it. We have a VIP call tomorrow at noon. The price will double for that call. The investment will double at midnight tonight. So if you feel called to be on that call, feel free to join it. Brittany says, my goal is to defy what the age standards are of what can be done. I find once most people turn 40, they stop dreaming. That's right, Brittany. You get to be an example of what is possible because you're not going to stop dreaming. And remember to book a call with Mario if you haven't already. And we have 2 spots left unless somebody has purchased another ticket for the weekend, April 4th and 5th. We have 2 spots left for that. Yes. So Brittany, look at this. Erin started her business at 43. Deborah Sinclair did her PhD at 58. And this is what's so beautiful is that you're in a community where this is the normal. I just feel like I'm getting started at 55 here. Like I'm like, oh, Vicky says I'm doing mine now at 59. Andrea D'Angelo says, I just turned 40 in December. My husband and I had our 1-year anniversary yesterday. We met in Italy and he's an Italian chef. He proposed to me after 1 month of dating each other. And I want you to think about what Andrea was writing years ago in her book about what she wanted. Julie started her coaching business at 52. Yes, Wendy, we can share the Toronto event because you would absolutely qualify to be there. Okay. So I am is a command to the universe to immediately get into the process of manifesting your wishes into physical reality. It's a declaration of the state of being in the moment now and here. So, Cheryl, it's a declaration of I am a millionaire, of a state of being. Whatever follows I am, we are inviting. So, when you intend to have an experience of something, you must know that you already have it. You already have it. So, what you're truly doing is receiving it, is taking possession what you already have. So, Yusuf going from the passenger seat to the driver's seat is experiencing what he already has, being a driver. You will be awakening, Vicky. This is what you touched on in the group. You will be awakening to something that has already existed within you. That's why my book is called A Return to You. You are not broken. You do not need to be fixed. So, right now, in this moment, on this call, whether you are listening to the recording or you're live on the call right now, you are already very, very wealthy. Brittany, your line is already, your beauty line is already a household name. You are already a sought after actor. I got another message. I'm telling you, people, Sharon Gordon, I can't make this up. From she announced it, so I can say it now. Anushri, who said that whose play we're going to go see was a creation. She created that. She created us coming to it. And she had told me, but she announced it now, so it's public, that she's also been asked to come back to a show that she loves as in many roles, including co-executive producer. Co-executive producer. Now, she's doing a play right now. So she says to me, she leaves me this voice note and she's like, Hina, you've been in my mind because I'm doing this play and I received this opportunity. So for a while, both things are happening at the same time. Brittany, I want you to hear this because what she had to enlarge was her capacity to receive. And she said she didn't go to because of what she's learned in our work together. She didn't go to, but oh my gosh, how am I going to do it? I'm going to be so tired. She spoke to her husband and her sat down and she said, okay, I have the capacity to receive this. I have the capacity to do co do to work on this show in the day and do my play at night for 7 days. For 7 days in a row for a while. And so, and then Brittany, what she did was she arranged her life for that. So, oh my gosh, it's the top of the hour, folks. Okay, I'm just going to wrap this piece up here. So, what she did was then she was like, okay, how do I need to be supported? what is it that we need to make to allow this to happen? There's going to be certain things that I'm doing now that I'm not going to be doing. I'm not going grocery shopping. There's no, she's not going grocery shopping. So it's a different way of thinking so that you can have all the blessings because it's all here. Nancy, you just booked April 4th and 5th. Okay, we only have one spot left because there is a cap. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, whichever of you clients or former clients feel called to, I would book that right now. I love you all. Thank you so much. Cheryl, this is for you. Yay! And we will see you here tomorrow. And let me just say tomorrow from 7 to 7:30, for those of you that are interested, I am going to share what it is like to have this experience every day for months and months and months, and how you can move into the client role. If that is something you desire, I will go through the whole program. Cameras are still off, by the way. All right. Love you all. We'll see you here tomorrow. Bye for now.